Hey everyone, a river can be a source of life, a place of profound tranquility and beauty. We are drawn to their gentle, meandering paths, their surfaces shimmering under the sun. It's a primal connection, a sense of peace that water often brings. But this serenity can be deeply deceptive. One must never be lulled into a false sense of security by the placid appearance of flowing water, for beneath that calm exterior, powerful and unseen forces may be at work, ready to reveal a far more dangerous character. You simply cannot always judge a river by its surface. Some of the most perilous waterways on our planet appear, at first glance, to be utterly harmless, inviting even. Yet, they conceal a host of lethal threats. These might be aggressive reptiles lurking just below the waterline, waters so toxic they can burn skin, a labyrinth of hidden tunnels that can trap a person forever, or violent undercurrents with the strength to pull even the strongest swimmer into the depths. Nature in all its majesty commands our respect, and nowhere is that more true than with its powerful rivers. The rivers in this video all have one thing in common: they're deadly. Each one presents a unique and formidable challenge to any living thing that dares to enter its domain. From boiling waters to crushing rapids and unseen predators, the stories of these rivers are written in caution and tragedy. So, join me for today's video, because we're going to take a look at the top 15 most dangerous rivers in the world. Our journey begins in the picturesque landscape of Yorkshire, England, with the River Wharfe. For much of its length, it is a charming pastoral stream, beloved by walkers and nature enthusiasts. It meanders through green dales, its waters appearing clear and inviting. But nestled within this idyllic scenery is a stretch of water known as the Strid. Here, the river is forced through a narrow, rocky channel, and its gentle character transforms into something altogether more sinister. The name Strid comes from the belief that it is only a stride across, a tempting, but fatal, illusion. Beneath the surface, the true nature of the Strid is revealed. The immense volume of water is funneled with incredible force into a deep, underwater chasm, filled with complex caves and tunnels. The currents here are ferociously powerful, creating a hydraulic pressure that can pin a person against the submerged rocks with inescapable force. It is said that the Strid is deeper than it is wide, and its hidden network of passages has earned it a grim reputation. Anyone who has slipped into its grasp has been pulled under, their fate sealed within its subterranean labyrinth. There's a local legend that the Strid has a 100% mortality rate. No one who has fallen in has ever been seen again. The water's powerful aeration makes it less buoyant, making it incredibly difficult to stay afloat, while the violent currents ensure a swift and brutal end. The signs along its banks warn visitors in no uncertain terms of the danger, a stark reminder that even in the most beautiful of settings, a deadly power can be lurking just beneath the surface, waiting patiently for the unwary. Deep within the Amazon rainforest of Peru lies a river that seems to defy logic. It is the Cusco Timpixca, known to the local Ashaninka people as Shanai Timpixca, which translates to boiled with the heat of the sun. This is no exaggeration. For nearly 4 miles, this river flows at temperatures hot enough to cause third-degree burns on contact. The water can reach up to 93 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Fahrenheit, just shy of boiling. It is a place where the very air is thick with steam, and the stones along the bank are too hot to touch. The source of this incredible heat was a mystery for many years. It is not, as one might expect, connected to any nearby volcanic activity. Instead, scientists now believe it is a result of a massive geothermal system. Fault-fed hot springs deep within the earth heat the water before it emerges and feeds the river. This unique geological feature has created a truly perilous environment. Any animal or human that falls into its steaming waters will be cooked alive, a horrific and swift end. The river literally boils its victims. For the local shamanic communities, the boiling river is a sacred and powerful place, a site for healing and spiritual connection. They treat it with immense respect, understanding its life-giving properties and its deadly potential in equal measure. Tourists who venture to see this natural wonder are guided by those who know the river's secrets, warned to keep a safe distance. The sight of the river, steaming and bubbling as it flows through the dense jungle, is a humbling spectacle, a visceral display of the Earth's raw geothermal power. Plunging into the heart of Africa, we encounter the Congo River, a titan among the world's waterways. It is the second largest river by discharge volume and the deepest river on Earth, with depths recorded at over 220 meters, or 720 feet. Its immense power is legendary, a vast, muscular serpent of water carving its path through the continent. The upper reaches of the river are a maze of rapids and waterfalls, presenting a formidable obstacle to navigation and a deadly threat to anyone caught in its flow. The sheer force of the water is almost unimaginable. The most notorious section of the Congo is a 75-mile-long stretch of canyons and cataracts known as the Gates of Hell. Here, the river's colossal volume is squeezed through a narrow gorge, creating some of the most violent and turbulent whitewater in the world. The rapids are so powerful and unpredictable that they have long been considered impassable. It is a maelstrom of churning water, whirlpools, and standing waves that can swallow boats whole, a place where the river's fury is on full and terrifying display. Beyond the rapids, the Congo's dangers persist. Its murky depths are home to a host of formidable creatures, and its powerful currents can shift unexpectedly. The river's vast and often remote basin means that help is frequently far away. For centuries it has been both a lifeline and a graveyard, a source of sustenance and a symbol of the untamable power of the natural world. The Congo River is a place of primal force, a reminder that some parts of our planet remain profoundly wild and unforgiving. Our next destination takes us to southwestern Spain, to a river that looks as if it flows from another world. This is the Rio Tinto, or, well, Red River. Its waters are a startling, vibrant shade of crimson and orange, a visual spectacle that belies a toxic secret. For thousands of years, this area has been a center for mining, extracting copper, gold, and other metals. The consequence of this long history is a river that is not just colored by minerals, but severely contaminated by them. The water is incredibly acidic, with a pH as low as 2, comparable to stomach acid. This extreme acidity is a direct result of chemical reactions involving the heavy metals leaching from the ancient mines. The river is a toxic cocktail of iron, copper, and other sulfides. It is essentially a flowing stream of acid mine drainage. As a result, it is almost completely devoid of complex life like fish. Any creature that finds itself in these waters would suffer chemical burns and a swift, agonizing death. The riverbed itself is stained deep red, a permanent scar on the landscape from millennia of human activity. Despite its toxicity, or perhaps because of it, the Rio Tinto has become a place of great scientific interest. The river is home to extremophilic microorganisms, bacteria and algae that have adapted to thrive in these incredibly harsh conditions. Scientists study these organisms to understand the limits of life, and even to search for clues about what life might look like on other planets, like Mars, which has similar geological features. But for us, it remains a stark and beautiful warning of the lasting environmental impact of mining. We travel now to the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, to the Tarcoles River. On the surface it might seem like any other tropical river, its murky brown waters flowing slowly towards the sea. But this river is famous for one reason above all others. It is home to one of the highest concentrations of American crocodiles in the world. These are not small reptiles. The adult males here can reach staggering lengths of up to 5 meters or 16 feet and weigh hundreds of kilograms. They are apex predators, perfectly adapted to this environment. The main gathering point for these colossal reptiles is a bridge on the highway to the Pacific coast, now colloquially known as the Crocodile Bridge. Tourists flock here to peer over the edge, gazing down at the dozens of massive crocodiles sunning themselves on the muddy banks below. They lie motionless, looking like prehistoric logs, a picture of lazy indifference. But this stillness is deceptive. These are powerful and opportunistic hunters, capable of explosive bursts of speed when prey comes within reach. While boat tours offer a closer, yet hopefully safer, look at these magnificent animals, the danger is ever present. The river's water quality is also poor due to pollution, but it is the sheer number and size of the crocodiles that make the Tarcoles so perilous. Entering these waters would be an act of extreme folly. It is their kingdom, a domain where one of the planet's oldest and most efficient predators reigns supreme. The Tarcoles serves as a powerful reminder that we share this world with creatures of formidable size and strength. The Mississippi River is the backbone of North America, a legendary waterway steeped in history and culture. It flows for over 2,300 miles, draining a vast portion of the continent. Its surface can often appear wide, slow, and almost lazy, especially in its southern reaches, inviting thoughts of a leisurely swim on a hot day. However, this placid appearance masks a powerful and treacherous force. The Mississippi is a river of immense volume and hidden strength, and underestimating it has proven fatal for many, including experienced swimmers. One of the greatest dangers of the Mississippi is its powerful and unpredictable undercurrents. The surface flow gives little indication of the swirling, pulling forces at work just a few feet below. These currents can be strong enough to pull a person down and hold them under, even in areas that appear calm. Compounding this danger is the enormous amount of debris the river carries. Entire trees, industrial refuse, and submerged objects create a hidden obstacle course that can entangle or injure a swimmer, leading to tragic consequences. Furthermore, the river's character can change in an instant. Heavy rains, far upstream, can cause water levels to rise rapidly, and currents to intensify without any local warning. Barges and other large vessels create powerful wakes that can overwhelm anyone in the water. The Mississippi is a working river, a commercial highway, but it is also a wild entity. Its combination of strong currents, hidden debris, and unpredictable nature makes it a place where swimming is always a dangerous gamble. It demands respect for its hidden power. We turn now to Asia, to the longest river on the continent, the Yangtze. For millennia, it has been the cradle of Chinese civilization, a vital artery for trade, agriculture, and culture. Its waters have nurtured dynasties and fed hundreds of millions of people. But the Yangtze also possesses a destructive power of immense scale. Throughout its history, it has been responsible for some of the most devastating floods the world has ever seen, earning it a reputation as a river of sorrow and a source of immense natural disasters. The sheer scale of the Yangtze's floods is difficult to comprehend. The 1931 Yangtze Huai River floods, for instance, are widely considered the deadliest natural disaster of the 20th century. A combination of heavy snowmelt and record rainfall led the river to burst its banks, inundating an area the size of England. The floodwaters affected an estimated 50 million people and led to a death toll that may have reached as high as 4 million from drowning, starvation, and subsequent disease. It was a catastrophe of biblical proportions. Today, massive engineering projects like the Three Gorges Dam have been constructed in an attempt to tame the river's fury and harness its power. While the dam has reduced the risk of flooding in some areas, the river remains a formidable force. Its lower reaches are heavily polluted from industrial and agricultural runoff, posing health risks. The Yangtze's legacy is a dual one: a giver of life on a grand scale, but also a taker, capable of unleashing a destructive force that can reshape landscapes and alter the course of human history in a single, catastrophic season. Flowing from the plains of the southern United States is a river named for its distinctive color, the Red River. This hue comes from the reddish clay and silt it erodes from the prairies of Texas and Oklahoma. During and after heavy rainfall, the river transforms into a thick crimson torrent, a visually striking but dangerous phenomenon. The fine sediment that gives the river its color also makes the water incredibly murky, concealing the many hazards that lie beneath its opaque surface. The primary dangers of the Red River are its powerful and often violent currents. The riverbed is prone to sudden drop-offs and shifting sandbars, which can create treacherous conditions for anyone in the water. Even more perilous are the whirlpools that can form, especially when the river is high. These vortexes, created by the complex interaction of the current with the river's topography, have the strength to pull a person, or even a small boat, underwater with terrifying speed. The lack of visibility means a swimmer would have no warning of the danger. Adding to the peril is the presence of quicksand along its banks and on its sandbars. The fine silt, when saturated with water, can create unstable patches that can trap an unsuspecting person. The combination of strong undercurrents, hidden whirlpools, and the risk of quicksand makes the Red River a place of considerable danger. Its unique color is a beautiful spectacle of nature, but it also serves as a warning sign for the powerful and unpredictable forces that churn within its depths. No exploration of dangerous rivers would be complete without a journey to the undisputed king of them all, The Amazon. This is not merely a river, it is a colossal, sprawling system that carries more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. It is the lifeblood of the world's largest rainforest, a vast and intricate network of water that pulses with life. But this abundance of life is precisely what makes the Amazon so incredibly dangerous. The river itself is a predator, and it is filled with them. Beneath its murky, slow-moving surface lies a world of formidable hunters. Schools of piranhas with their razor-sharp teeth can strip flesh from bone in minutes, drawn by the scent of blood. Giant anacondas, the heaviest snakes in the world, lurk in the shallows, capable of ambushing and constricting large prey. Black caimans, the largest predators in the Amazon basin, patrol the waterways, their eyes just breaking the surface. And it doesn't stop there. Electric eels can deliver a stunning shock, and the tiny candiru fish is feared for its horrifying habit of swimming into human orifices. Beyond the menagerie of deadly wildlife, the river itself presents immense challenges. Its currents can be deceptively strong and unpredictable, especially during the flood season when the river can rise by over 30 feet, swallowing vast tracts of forest. Getting lost in its labyrinthine network of tributaries is a very real and often fatal possibility. The Amazon is the epitome of the wild. To enter its waters is to enter a world where humans are not at the top of the food chain, a domain ruled by ancient predators and the raw, untamable power of nature. We travel to the longest river in the world, the legendary Nile. For millennia, it has been the cradle of civilization, its predictable floods bringing fertile silt to the Egyptian desert and allowing a great empire to flourish. Its history is woven into the very fabric of human existence. But, while its floods have been tamed by the Aswan High Dam, the ancient dangers that have always lurked within its waters remain as potent as ever. The Nile is the domain of one of Africa's most feared predators. The Nile crocodile is a true leviathan, an ancient reptile that can grow to over 6 meters in length and weigh close to a ton. They are notoriously aggressive and opportunistic, responsible for hundreds of human fatalities each year across Africa. The banks of the Nile provide the perfect ambush points. A crocodile can lie in wait, almost completely submerged and invisible in the murky water, before launching an attack with explosive speed and devastating power. Their bite force is immense, and once they have a hold, escape is nearly impossible. But crocodiles are not the only danger. The Nile is also home to large populations of hippopotamuses, often seen as comical, lumbering animals. Hippos are, in fact, incredibly territorial and aggressive, and are considered one of the most dangerous large animals in Africa. They will readily attack boats and people who stray too close to their territory. Combined with strong currents in certain sections and hidden sandbanks that can ground vessels, the Nile, despite its cultural significance and placid appearance, remains a river where one must always be vigilant. Our journey takes us to Southeast Asia, to the Mekong River, a waterway of immense cultural and ecological importance for the millions who live along its banks. Known in Vietnam as the River of Nine Dragons for its complex delta, the Mekong flows through 6 countries, its character changing dramatically along its 2,700-mile course. In its upper reaches, particularly as it tumbles out of the Tibetan Plateau and through the gorges of Yunnan, the river is a force of raw, untamed power. Here, the Mekong is a maelstrom of powerful rapids and treacherous whirlpools. The river drops steeply in elevation, forcing its massive volume of water through narrow, rocky channels. This creates some of the most challenging and dangerous whitewater on the planet, sections that are largely unnavigable and have claimed the lives of even the most experienced river explorers. The sheer force of the water can pulverize boats and pin a person against submerged rocks with lethal force. The river's power in these sections is absolute. Further downstream, the primary danger shifts. The Mekong is a monsoon-fed river, making it prone to sudden and dramatic flooding. During the rainy season, water levels can rise rapidly, inundating vast areas of farmland and displacing entire communities. These flash floods can occur with little warning, turning a placid waterway into a raging torrent that sweeps away everything in its path. While it is a source of life and sustenance, the Mekong's unpredictable temper and powerful currents demand constant respect from those who depend on it. We arrive now at a river that holds a place of profound spiritual significance for over 1 billion people, The Ganges. For Hindus, the river Ganga is a goddess, a source of purification and salvation. Millions make pilgrimages to its banks to bathe in its sacred waters, to perform funeral rites, and to find spiritual cleansing. It is a river that is deeply intertwined with the cycle of life and death in India, yet this sacred status exists alongside a harsh and dangerous reality. The Ganges is one of the most polluted rivers in the world, a combination of untreated sewage from burgeoning cities, industrial effluent, and agricultural runoff flows directly into the river. This has created a toxic brew of dangerous bacteria and chemical pollutants. Despite its sacredness, bathing in the Ganges carries a significant risk of contracting waterborne diseases like cholera, dysentery, and typhoid. The very water that is meant to purify can be a source of grave illness. Beyond the pollution, the Ganges is still a powerful natural force. During the monsoon season, it swells dramatically, and its currents become strong and treacherous. The sheer number of people bathing along its banks, particularly during large festivals, creates its own dangers, with the risk of being swept away by the current or caught in a crowd. The Ganges presents a unique paradox, a river revered as the embodiment of purity, yet physically burdened by pollution and natural hazards, a sacred peril for the faithful who flock to its waters. Our travels take us to South America, to the Orinoco River, one of the continent's longest and most powerful waterways. It carves a great arc through Venezuela and Colombia, its basin encompassing vast tropical rainforests and the immense savanna plains known as the llanos. The Orinoco is a river defined by a dramatic and violent seasonal pulse. For half the year, it is a relatively contained river, but during the rainy season, it undergoes a staggering transformation. This transformation is the Orinoco's greatest danger, its violent seasonal flooding. Fed by torrential tropical rains, the river and its tributaries swell to an incredible degree, spilling over their banks and inundating the vast flat plains of the llanos. The water level can rise by as much as 15 meters, or 50 feet. This annual flood turns the savanna into a massive inland sea, a temporary wetland stretching for thousands of square miles. The force of the rising water is immense, creating powerful currents where there was once dry land. This flooded world is also a haven for dangerous wildlife. The waters teem with piranhas and electric eels. The world's largest rodent, the capybara, thrives here, and so do its main predators jaguars and the Orinoco crocodile, a critically endangered but enormous reptile. Navigating this vast, temporary swamp is treacherous, with submerged obstacles and disorienting landscapes. The Orinoco's annual flood is a spectacular display of nature's power to reshape an entire ecosystem, but it creates a hazardous and unpredictable environment for any who live within its reach. We journey to southern Africa, to the mighty Zambezi River. This is a river of incredible contrasts, from tranquil stretches where wildlife gathers to drink, to one of the most violent and spectacular displays of water's power on Earth. The Zambezi is, of course, home to Mosi Oatunya, the smoke that thunders, better known as Victoria Falls. Here, the river, over a mile wide, plunges into a narrow chasm, creating the largest single sheet of falling water in the world. The sheer power and spray are breathtaking, but the dangers begin just downstream. Below the falls, the Zambezi is forced into a series of narrow, zigzagging gorges. The water, compressed and agitated, becomes a cauldron of Grade 5 rapids, among the most challenging and dangerous for commercial rafting in the world. Massive waves, powerful whirlpools, and ferocious currents known by names like the washing machine and oblivion can flip rafts and pull swimmers under in an instant. It is a thrilling but unforgiving environment where the river's immense energy is violently unleashed. But the danger is not confined to the rapids. The entire length of the Zambezi is prime habitat for Nile crocodiles and hippos. The tranquil-looking sections upstream from the falls are particularly deceptive. These are hunting grounds for large crocodiles and territorial waters for pods of hippos, which, as we know, are notoriously aggressive. Whether you are facing the thundering power of its rapids or the silent predators in its calmer reaches, the Zambezi is a river that commands caution and respect at every turn. For our final river, we travel to the desolate and beautiful wilderness of Siberia, to the Lena River. It flows north for nearly 2,800 miles, emptying into the Arctic Ocean. For most of the year, the Lena is imprisoned in ice, a vast frozen highway through the taiga. It is a river defined by cold, a silent, static giant. But this stillness is deceptive, for when the seasons change, the Lena awakens with violent and explosive force, presenting a unique and formidable danger. The peril of the Lena comes during the spring thaw. The ice on the upper, more southerly reaches of the river begins to break up while the lower, northern sections near the Arctic remain frozen solid. This creates colossal ice dams. The meltwater and broken ice flows pile up against these frozen blockages, causing the river level to rise with astonishing speed. The pressure builds until the ice dam catastrophically fails, releasing a devastating wave of water, ice, and debris downstream. These sudden ice flows and flash floods are incredibly destructive. The moving ice flows are like battering rams, capable of crushing anything in their path, from forests to entire villages built too close to the river's edge. The floods can inundate vast areas in a matter of hours. The sheer, unpredictable power of a river shaking off its winter chains is a terrifying spectacle. The Lena River's danger is not from predators or rapids, but from the raw kinetic energy of ice and water on a colossal scale. A true Siberian ice dragon awakening from its slumber. And so, our journey along the world's most dangerous rivers comes to an end. From boiling waters and toxic streams to impenetrable depths and ravenous predators, we have seen the myriad ways a river can be deadly. Remember, just because a river looks calm on the surface, doesn't mean it's safe. Beneath that tranquil facade can lie currents with the power to overwhelm, hidden obstacles that can trap, and creatures that have ruled these waters since long before our time. These powerful forces of nature are not malicious, they are simply indifferent. They demand our respect and a healthy dose of caution. Whether you are an experienced explorer or a casual traveler, understanding the potential dangers of the natural world is the first step to enjoying it safely. Nature's beauty is often intertwined with its power, and appreciating both is key to our survival and its preservation. Always heed local warnings, and never underestimate the hidden strength of flowing water. It is a vast world with countless waterways, each with its own story. Have you ever visited any of these formidable rivers, or do you know of other dangerous ones that belong on this list? I would love to read about your own experiences and knowledge in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey. If you found this exploration as fascinating as I did, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more adventures into our incredible planet.